If you haven't had an opportunity to watch Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, stop listening now, major spoilers, here we go. With the runtime about 2 hours and 10, 2 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. I give this movie a rating of 9.5 out of 10 stars. I absolutely loved it, man. I thought that they did a really good job improving upon some of the issues from the first film and giving us a whole heck of a lot more, man. Zombies, some sort of flesh-eating, murderous, crazy, psycho-killing machines were seen inside of this film, and there's this one scene in particular that scared the hell out of me. I didn't see it coming. I guess for me, it's because I wasn't introduced to Maze Runner, from the books, so I didn't know what was coming. Nobody else in the theater, the very few people. I think there was like maybe 10 of us total, 15 that's pushing it. But I didn't know what was coming, and I was screaming. And, the Maze Runner came out, I think in, what was it, like 2015 or something like that. So now we have the 2014 was the Maze Runner, 2015 is the Scorch Trials, and I don't know what happens, after what the sequel will be, but there's going to be a sequel at the end, and The movie starts out really fast-paced with this awesome introduction. And what I mean by that is once you get past to the title sequence, it starts out really fast-paced. And the introduction, the first, I think it's a 2-minute introduction for the film before you get the actual title of the Scorch Trials. You have this scene that is very reminiscent of the I Am Legend scene with Will Smith and his kid and that one lady, and then obviously the plane took off and they blew up. But in this scene you have a young kid with his mother, and his mother passes him off to go out and head into the Wicked Company, I guess you could say, donates the kid for a cause for a cure. And then after that we get the the Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials logo, and then we get this really, really awesome sequence where you're seeing the main character back inside of the actual how do you want to say it, the elevator, I guess you can say, and then he's going up to where I was like, what? Are we back in the maze? So I'm thinking they're like Thomas is back in the maze. I'm freaking out a little bit, and then all of a sudden he wakes up from a dream, and now we get introduced to the Littlefinger character, and I gotta find his name real quick, man. Let me take a couple of seconds. I think that I might have it right here. If not, I'll have to go somewhere else. And yeah, matter of fact, I'm actually on the wrong IMDb page. Let me go back real quick. Littlefinger, where is he at? He's always hiding. And he's probably gonna be towards the Jansen. This guy Jansen. I mean, first off, we know that Aidan Gillen is Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, and we know that this guy's a bad guy, okay? And for Jansen, it's almost like you're watching Littlefinger in the future, okay? If the character of Littlefinger was placed inside a time capsule, okay, and they preserved his body, and then they thawed him out inside the future, this is what we would have, man. We have the character of Jansen, and he did a really great job, man. Aiden, I think that it's pretty cool that there were so many Game of Thrones actors inside of one movie. That I think that's another reason why, at least for me, I enjoyed this one a whole lot more than I enjoyed the first one. The first one I kind of watched it and I was just like, okay, not bad, but this one, as soon as I started seeing these Game of Thrones characters, man, it was like game on, like life is good because, we have we have all these Game of Thrones, people inside of here, man. So Jojen from Game of Thrones is in there, and then also how do you want to say it? Khaleesi's right-hand girl, she's in there as well. And one thing that I didn't notice, man, and it was really surprising, I was like, I didn't recognize her at first, okay, Misandria. I didn't recognize her because what they managed to do with Natalie Emmanuel is they actually covered up her beauty and changed her hair just a little bit to where she's almost unrecognizable, man. So she plays this character called Harriet, who at the end, she is the right arm. She's inside of that army that they've been looking for to, you know, I don't know, go back and I don't know, take life back from Wicked or something like that. But when you see her, you won't recognize her. You know, you'll say to yourself, "Do I know this actress?" You're like, "I know her from somewhere." And the way that it's set up, it's almost like a Fallen Skies. You're like, "Yo, is that the girl from Fallen Skies?" And you're like, "No, that I know her from somewhere else." And it wasn't until you see her in the light, like the real shining bright light of a brand new day, that you realize that Harriet is actually Melisandre from Game of Thrones. And then you start putting things together that, you know, now you not only have, you know, Melisandre there, but you have Littlefinger, and then you have Jojen, and you have a little mini Game of Thrones reunion that's going on inside of, you know, the Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials. And I don't know why they called it Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials. I thought it should have been called The Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, but I guess maybe it's just too many thes, and they decided to drop that off. And maybe, I guess, going forward, you know, we're inside of the Maze Runner universe. So, you know, the next title will they'll just have a subtitle that will take the main title of the actual movie, so you're not to get it confused with the 2014 movie. The Maze Runner was actually released in how do you want to say it? What am I trying to say? I almost lost my train of thought there for a few seconds. But yeah, it was released in 19 September 2014. And once again, I said that last time when I did my review. And I don't even know if I posted my review, but this is released on the 18th September 2015. We're probably going to get another one on either the 18th or the 19th of September or the 20th of September 2016 to continue on with this whole thing that's going on here. Maybe even early on the 17th or 16th, whatever that day is in 2016. And I think that it's still going to be good. It's still going to be successful, but I think if they could possibly put it in the summer, they should. You know, it was just a beautiful movie. I really enjoyed it. It felt like a Michael Bay summer movie as far as the color palette. It was really crazy to see what they were able to do. You know, they took all these different references from what I felt. They took all these different pop culture references from The Last of Us, I Am Legend, The Last Man on Earth, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Jurassic Park, and a couple of other ones. You can just keep naming them all day long. And they meshed it together and created their own world, man. This is like better than Mad Max as far as what you're able to see, because we didn't get to really see a whole lot in Mad Max, and Mad Max is just desert. But you don't really get to see, you know, what happened to the end of the world and how the end of the world happened. And you get to see that inside here. You get to see the buildings collapse. You get to see the greenery. You get to see the lack of greenery. You get to see the sand coming over the entire earth. You get to see the decay of humanity and what's left of them inside of the Scorch Trials, man. One thing that really concerned me, man, was like, you know, are they going to bring the realism in this one? You know, is it going to be, you know, this fake crazy stuff that was going on inside of The Maze Runner? And I was like, you know, they got to get rid of that and bring hint to it, but bring in something that's real, man. And I think the elements of this infected zombie walker thing that was inside of here that spits out this black goop, that was it for me, man. You know, we got The Walking Dead, we have Fear the Walking Dead, we have Orphan Black, we have a lot of different shows, you know, from Dominion all the way over to, you know, different sci-fi shows. You got Containment that's coming out on CW, you know, Supernatural, all these different ones. They have these special things about them, and I think that whoever decided to make the Scorch Trials this way, they understood what's hot right now with pop culture. And I don't know if it's in the book like this. I don't know if it's written in the book like this. I don't know if the book describes it as exactly like The Last of Us, minus a couple of spores. You know, if it's exactly like Fear the Walking Dead, minus, you know, the black goop and minus, you know, how do you want to say it? Like spots on the skin, or, black stuff that's coming out of the mouth, But if you look at the Fear the Walking Dead episode that had Susan, the first, Asian walker, or whatever you want to call her, Korean walker, she showed us that exactly what, that the zombies or the infected will look like in Fear the Walking Dead. And then you watch Maze Runner, the Scorch trials, and that's exactly what you're seeing there, man. So I don't know. Somebody's influencing somebody, and I think that it's just perfect what they did. And I think people will get a kick out of it if they can tie those things together, man. And when I was sitting down there in the theater, that's what I was kind of like getting excited, laughing, and calling those things out, because that's what I saw, man. It was like, wow, this is a pop culture referenced field movie, man. It's a lot of treasure. It's a treasure chest of Easter eggs. That's the best way to describe the Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials, man. You're going to love it. You really will love it, man. What I was really, really surprised about, the biggest surprise for me was the how do you want to say it? The ending in which you had, how do you want to say, you finally had this scenario where Thomas was going to be reunited with Teresa, and you thought they were going to live happily ever after, and Littlefinger came to rescue them. So Jansen was going to save Thomas and Minho and Teresa and Newt and all these guys. And then all of a sudden, Teresa, she flips the script at the end and betrays Thomas and the rest of the gang. And now Minho is actually captured at the end. So Kai-Hong Lee, which I'm going to tell you right now, Kai-Hong Lee, this dude, he wasn't that good inside of Maze Runner, the Maze Runner. He wasn't as good as he was. I guess, he was still great. He ran really fast and he really sold his part, but Kai-Hong Lee inside of the Scorch Trials, for me, I'm going to be real with you, for me, he did 6,000 times better than Dylan O'Brien, who plays, Thomas, man. I think that, I'm not going to lie, man, Kai-Hong Lee, I think this dude is the future, man. I think this dude is going to have a really, really, if Hollywood latches onto him and if they give him a chance, man, to get that lead role, he definitely showed it here, man. He definitely showed it, man. The biggest surprise for me was Esposito, man. I thought this was crazy. He plays this character called George, who is like, almost like, almost like Oz out of the Wizard of Oz, okay? Almost like, how do you want to say it? Like Gandalf off of Lord of the Rings, man. Like this dude is the go-to guy to get things done, and they come outside after they escape from Littlefinger, aka Jansen. They run all over the desert, and then they finally get to his location, and they meet up with him, and then you get introduced to Esposito, where he shows you, his depth as an actor, man, and it blew me away. I was like, what? I didn't even know he was in the film. And I was like, that's crazy, man. There's another guy that's in the film, too. And if you're a fan of Firefly, you're going to lose it, man. I thought that was really, really cool, man. But that was actually one of the scenes where the movie started kind of going down for me, is because they had Thomas drink this juice, this serum, and they really didn't explain too much about it. But the way that they did with the camera, it didn't really feel drunk to me. It was weird. It was one of those weird scenes, man. One of the coolest scenes I think that will go down in history as, I don't even think, and this is just being honest, I don't even think DC, EU, and the MCU have ever had lightning like this. This is something that, for me, matched with Percy Jackson, with his movies. This matched, what was that one movie? Storm of the Century. This matched that one movie with, I think it was like Kevin Costner and what's his name? Ashton Kutcher or something like that. It was like this rescue movie in the middle of the ocean where they had lightning and stuff. But this was lightning that was hitting the ground, and the kids ran from the lightning, and it was something out of like Lord of the Rings. So, that Peter Jackson would have filmed it this way. And that's what I say, man. Like this movie is just, it's pop culture all around, through and through. And the lightning scene, inside of the desert was crazy, man. It was like dry lightning hitting the ground, and that's when Kai Hong Lee, man, who plays Minho, he actually got hit by lightning and he survives. He survives all the way until the end, man. What was very surprising is the amount of, how do you want to say it, surprise hits and deaths. I'm not going to spoil who got killed in this movie because I think that it's important for you to see that on screen for the first time. There was this one character, and I watched, and I don't think I'm ever going to find his name. I'm going to try to find it real quick, but it's probably going to be very difficult, to be honest. Let me see. There's this movie with this kid, and let me explain it real quick, and maybe you guys that are listening can kind of comment on this. This kid is in a bad neighborhood, and he's, how do you want to say it? He goes out into the woods with his brother, who is a special needs kid. He gets into an argument with some older kid, and the older kid ends up hitting his head on a rock. And I'm almost positive when I'm saying that, and I might get this confused. I think it was mud, but I'm not sure if it was mud or not. But I don't know. This kid is from that movie, though, whatever his name is. And I don't know if I'll be able to find him on IMDb. I'm looking right now, and it just doesn't look like I'm going to be able to find him. But he played a very pivotal, important role, and he was in the all girls. What's it called? Okay, here, Eris. There we go, Eris. That character for Eris, man, was really, really good, man. Yeah, and Mud is the movie. That's what it's called. Mud and Little Accidents. That's where I remember him from, man. Mud and Little Accidents, man. The actor's name is Jacob Laughlin. Jacob Laughlin, man. And I thought that he just brought something kind of special to the movie. And, you know, when we lost a couple of characters, you know, I think that he filled in for those characters, man. And it's just, I don't know. It's a really good movie. You know, I can't get over how great of a movie it is. And I haven't seen a good movie in a long time. So that's why it's kind of surprising. You know, Man of Steel, really good movie. You know, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, really good movie. And, you know, a couple of other movies. What I'm talking about is the superhero movies, the big blockbuster movies. Haven't seen a really, really good one that you can kind of really talk about for hours and just kind of, you know, think about different things that you saw, man. One of the coolest things about the Scorch trials is that when they're moving through the city that's just broken down and you know, torn down and destroyed because of the events that took place inside of that universe. It's like a maze, and if you ever saw some of those paintings where they have this maze with a whole bunch of stairs and doors, and you know, if you walk through one door, you're upside down on a staircase, and if you walk through another door, you're in a different staircase on another side of the room, and that's what this movie was like, man. It was like a jigsaw puzzle, but also like art. It was art on film, beautiful film, and I can't say more about it, man. That's my time, guys. That's 20 minutes. I don't want to do any more than that. I love the movie. I can't wait to see what they're going to come up with next. And I'm actually surprised, man, with Dylan O'Brien, man. I didn't like him inside of Teen Wolf, and I didn't like Teen Wolf at all. But as far as what character or what person that I had called to be successful when I watched Teen Wolf was actually Dylan O'Brien. I didn't think that the other guy who is the main character for Teen Wolf, who was in that Jennifer Lopez movie when he was younger, I didn't think that he had it, and I still don't think. Even the chick also, she didn't have it either. And even the old dude, the older Teen Wolf, he didn't have it either. But Dylan O'Brien had something, man. He has that it factor, and I think that's why this movie is successful, and this whole entire Maze Runner franchise is going to be successful. You can check your local listings for you know, where to watch it, and if you are inside the movie club, man, you can already watch it. You should be watching it. Well, you probably already watched it as your before you even listen to this, man. So yeah, it's just really good to be, you know, part of the movie club. So I'm out of here, guys. That's it, man. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video. Don't share this video. I really don't care. I just wanted to talk about the Maze Runner. Maze Runner, Scorch Trials, 9.5 out of 10 stars. Go check it out today, man. We're out of here.